So we'll be starting at 11:05. We are waiting for to join. Okay, so yeah, we can get started. So very good morning to all, and welcome to today's webinar on accelerating PCB design with advanced design insights. Okay, that is designed for today and prepare for tomorrow. So before I proceed further, I would like to just get your confirmation that you are able to see my screen, and I hope I'm clearly audible to all of you. Can any one of you please confirm me if you are able to hear me and also can see my screen? Malvika, can you please respond? One second, let me just check if my mic. Okay, fine. I'll just also just 1 second. Yeah, it's on already. Perfect. Okay, I see a couple of people raising hand. So is it just to confirm that you are able to hear me and see the screen? Okay, yeah. So first of all, to everyone who have joined on time, right? So I appreciate your time joining this meeting early in the morning at 11 o'clock, right? So a quick introduction about myself. So I'm Akshay and I work as a senior application engineer at Siemens CDA. And I'm responsible for PCB line of products like
Akshay, just sorry
extrusions.
to interrupt.
Yes,
Actually, we are getting echo from the device. Can you just turn off the speaker of the any other device?
I don't have anything in front of me except the laptop and my cell phone.
So either in cell phone or laptop, you can able to turn off the speaker.
Second. But no, I think I have only one system in front of me because if I just unmute the speaker here, then maybe
Yeah, still
when you
echo is
speak
there.
something,
You can do one thing. So whichever device you are using for audio, keep that speaker only one. The other device you can turn off the audio.
So I have connected to any screen, any other screen. So, so Malvika, you are also able to hear the echo? Echo? Yes, Malvika. Okay.
Echo is
So
there.
may I know who is this?
This is Geo Mathi from Techlabs, Bangalore.
Okay, so I think there is no issue at the other side. I have just checked with Malvika. So I'm not sure if that is the issue at your side or if somebody else is facing that issue. Can you please respond once? I mean, anyone else?
One more thing, whether you have opened the Teams in any other two browsers or Teams also.
No.
Oh, okay, fine.
So hope it is fixed now, right? Can you please confirm? All right. So in case if anyone else feeling that there is a echo, please do respond in the chat box. Okay, I think chat box is open to all. So please
Now it
respond
is
in
fine.
case.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so we'll just get started. So in today's webinar, we will be trying to cover the current industry challenges, right? And then we will look into what are the Siemens CDA solutions and offering in order to resolve those challenges. And also we will discuss about the highlights of AI and also a couple of cloud-based collaboration that we have with our PCB solutions as well. Okay, and then finally we will be summarizing it with the questionnaire that you may have, and we'll try to answer that. Okay. So now to get started, so we all know that nowadays all the devices, any device that we talk about, right, cell phone, TV, or laptop, or any automotive boards as well, right? So all those products are becoming complex nowadays. Now, every organization, when they start to develop their product, there are certain challenges that they have to encounter. When I talk about challenges, it can be managing with the product complexity or having a different team which is not able to collaborate among each other and then work, right? So people generally work in silos. So that is what we call it as a digitalization of missing digitalization, basically, right? When you are not able to connect with one team to another team seamlessly, right? Or you have to have a multi-thread communication in order to exchange any data between any team, right? So that is what we call it as a lack of digitalization. And you all know that in order to develop any product, there are multiple teams involvement comes into picture. It can be a PCB engineer, mechanical engineer, software engineer, or any component engineer, right? So what is needed in order to beat the competition, in order to remain and be based in the competitive market, you need to form a digitalization approach, right? Now, we all know that if the companies embracing the digitalization will only survive the present and win the future. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of implications that you're going to face because of not having a proper organization structure, or maybe because of not able to handle the product complexity, right? So there are various things which has to be managed, right? And we don't want you to manage such things. We want you to come start in your innovation or innovative product with the help of digitalization. Now, in order to do that, now the technology should be sufficient enough in order to have five different pillars, right? The first one I could say as the scalable. So when you start to work today, of course, you are not going to limit your work only to today, what you're doing. You have to scale your product. You have to scale your company, right? In that case, you need to ensure, irrespective of the type of product you are doing, right? Your productivity should be continuous. Your time to market should be better achieved, right? So you need a scalable solution that helps you to reach there, right? And meet all your requirement. The another pillar is AI infused. We all are hearing about a buzzword as AI in every area, right? So yes, there are AI capabilities that should also be involved into your PCB solutions, what you are using today, to help in order to improve your productivity or to have a better informed decisions at the right state of time, right? Then also a cloud connected. We all know that there are certain solutions that is not available to have within your tools or within the application that you are working in. So that is totally dependent on some other cloud solution, right? So a better integration of the cloud solution with your PCB design tool makes a lot of difference, right? Then also about the integrated approach. When you are working in the integrated approach, of course, we were talking about the silos, right? The multiple team distributing and working together, working by sharing the files by from one to another. So here the integration will really be making a lot of sense, because when the tools are integrated with each other, the dependency or the exchange of files becomes very much seamless. Okay, the import and export of file becomes very much seamless because you are all working in the integrated environment, right? So that completely saves your time. And because the verification and the analysis solutions all are integrated with your PCB design tools, it also reduces the error and saves your time as well. Then the last pillar, that is intuitive. So every user is different, right? And what, based on your experience, based on your expertise, you would like to have a customized environment for you, right? You don't want to have a standard application that has to be you have to forcefully use that. No. So what we provide as one of the important pillar is have giving you an intuitive environment where you will be able to customize the complete workflow, and you can have the user experience interface just the way that you feel or the way that you want. right? And that is totally dependent on every individual. Okay. So we will be discussing about all these 5 pillars in detail in our today's webinar. So to start with, we have customers coming from the starting level who would like to explore on the PCB solutions, or who just started their company with a few of their product, and also the customer who is going to grow or who has already grown, right? So we have a solution that it meets all of your needs, whether you're working on a project with just a small power board, right? Tomorrow you might be working on a controller or a I mean the small complexity of board for maybe a commercial products, right? And then I mean, after in future, you may be working on a very complex board like multi-board system designs like that, right? So then you need to have an enterprise solutions as well. So what we were talking about scalability is when you are starting today to have an experience on a particular PCB design tool, you can start to work with PATS Pro Essential, right? Where you will be able to have the schematic layout and library and all those features that is needed for you, followed by Expedition Standard. So this is again a feature-rich solutions, what you will get with Expedition Standard, right? And then we will be also we'll be having Expedition Enterprise. So in future, if you are expanding yourself, then definitely you can also switch to Expedition Enterprise. Now, the advantage that what you will get, uh, if you are starting to learn with PATS Pro Essential or Expedition Standard, if you look here on the screen, all these user interfaces are same, right? So just based on the complexity of the product that you are going to work, the features will get added on. So you don't have to really worry or bother about that I have worked on PATS Pro Essential, how do I switch to any another tool, right? You don't have to think of that because this is what scalability gives you the advantage. If you're working today with PATS Pro Essential, you can immediately or anytime go with Expedition Standard. Okay, as a user, you will not have that hesitation that I have to learn any new tool because it is just the same. Only there are features which is enhanced or enriched based on the type of product now you're going to handle, right? And similar goes with Expedition Enterprise. So any point of time that you would like to upgrade your product from standard, once your team is also growing faster, right? You can also think of upgrading to Expedition Enterprise level. So there are a couple of differences, of course, from PATS Pro Essential to Expedition Standard and from Expedition Standard to Expedition Enterprise, right? But we are not highlighting on that today. So what our main focus is going to be in today's webinar is mainly on Expedition Standard, right? Now, in order to talk about the PCB design tool, so any product, the basic thing that gets started with the component sourcing and research, right? So what Expedition Standard offers you by default as a part quest portal, which is a web-based portal where you can just go and find the components and use those components directly in your library or onto your schematic as well, right? So you can have the descriptive part number search as you can see in the video which is demonstrated, and you can have all the required details. You can click on the link, I mean, click on the data sheet, which can be directly opened in front of you. So which will save your time not going to multiple sites and then finding the data sheet or having any manufacturer details. Now, if you want to have, you will get the symbols, footprint, and 3D model associated to it, and that you can directly drop and use it in your schematic, right? You will also get a provision in order to create the footprint based on IPC standard and also symbols based on IEEE standards on this. And the good part is if you're creating it for a project, if any parts are being created for a project, you can store those parts for a later use as well. Okay, so this is what we will be offering you along with Expedition Standard as a have a quick start for you, right? So that you don't have to have a dependency on a librarian, or you don't have to be an expert to start your design. You are already ready to start your design because the library is already available for you, right? Then followed by, we also do have a supply chain solution. Now, we were talking about a cloud-based solution, if you remember in our earlier slide, right? So, of course, as I said, the tool PCB design tool cannot have all these intelligence by itself by as a default solution, right? So, and we all know that supply chain is a very big issue today in the world, right? Because of war and multiple scenarios. And also we have seen in the past that automotive vehicles, many vehicles are in queue just in waiting because of this component not being available. So it becomes very much important for you when you are using any component, you look into the availability of the component, right? The pricing of the component, whether it is available with the vendor or not. So all these informations becomes very much crucial for you when you are designing any board, right? So that's what is supply chain aware design. So what Siemens did in order to find out or the solution to avoid this supply chain issue or the scarcity, what Siemens has done is they have acquired a company called a Supply Frame and integrated it with our expedition designer solution, which is a schematic solution, right? Now, with that, what advantage we will get? So what you will get along when the supply chain is integrated with Expedition Designer, you will get a real-time update from the multiple vendors which are available. Almost 135 plus vendors are available in the list, right? It can be Avnet, Arrow, Murata, DigiKey, like that. And the good part is when you are using any part in your design, it will tell all the supply chain information just at your fingertips. So you can see on the bottom stating that any components, what are the other manufacturer that you can go with, right? Whether this particular component is coming from Trident or not. What is the unit stock price for that, right? And what is the which supplier has this availability? So you can have all these informations right available when you are designing your schematic itself. Now, to have a better and informed decisions, supply chain integration makes a lot of difference in your lives, right? And you can, of course, export the BOM file stating all your supply chain information to make your right decision at right point of time. Because we have seen issue customer facing the issue like they have released the board and then send it to a supplier and the sub component itself is not available in the market. Now what you do? Right? So in order to do that, in order to avoid that process, the integration of supply chain is something which is going to play a very vital role in your day-to-day project, right? So that particular integration is available with Expedition Standard. Then I would like to talk about schematic capture. Yes, so Expedition Designer is a solution that you will be using, right, for in order to create any of your schematic. So now you have a provision to work on either a flat schematic or also on a hierarchical schematic. So that's totally your choice based on the type of board or type of design that you're working. So Expedition Standard allows you to work on different types of schematic as well. And when we are talking about the schematic, right, we should not forget the complexity, right? So the solution should be seamless in order to manage your complexity as well, right? So what schematic solution or our Expedition Designer solution will provide you is having a different way of doing the wiring or providing a connection, right? So with that, okay. So this is how you place the component in your schematic just by dragging and dropping it, finding it from your I mean the part explorer. And then what you do is you also have a bus connectivity which can be easily used within your schematic tool, right? and you don't have to manually drag each and every line. So instead, the tool is automating that bus connection and then providing that connection complete for you. Along with it, you also have a provision where you can do the multi-net connectivity in the tool, where you can provide multiple, you can connect the multiple pins in just one click instead of manually dragging each and everything. Then apart from that, you also have a library verification technology available within the solution, so that in case if there is any mismatch between your library and the manual property that you might have added, it identifies that and then it can correct it. Right? So that is what is library verification. And then it also allows you to simultaneously work on schematic and layout when the project file is shared across team member. Right? And with that, you will also get another advantage is like having a intelligent PDF generated from your schematic. So when I say integrated intelligent PDF, that means when you generate a PDF, you will get exactly the way that you are working on the schematic. That means you in the PDF also you can have the complete architecture view. You can have any component information, right? So a person who is reviewing your schematic need not have a schematic tool itself. The intelligent PDF itself is sufficient enough for any kind of review because it contains all the properties and all other required information that is needed for a reviewer. Right? Then another interesting feature that Expedition Standard has in integrated constraint management. So mostly we have seen in the ECAD tools, this particular part is lagging, right? And due to which hardware engineers do not have a complete control on the constraint manager. They enter a constraint which is very partial, and remaining informations are being shared through a mail or shared through maybe an Excel sheet, right? So with the integrated constraint manager in place with Expedition Standard, what advantage you will get? As a hardware engineer, you can have the complete constraint control from when you are working or designing your schematic itself. So not having dependency or on the manual sharing of any Excel file to your layout person, right? Now the advantages what you will get here is, of course, when I'm talking about integrated constraint, that means it is not only integrated with schematic, but whatever the constraint that you are entering, it is going to be same across your file. That means it is going to go even to your layout also the same constant. Okay. Of course, the layout engineer can mention the trace width and the spacing that is needed, and any other clearance or any other differential pair creation or any other impedance information, everything can be easily entered by schematic engineer as well. Okay, so we are not limiting any of the constraint manager feature for schematic engineer or for layout engineers. So it is common across the flow, right? Additionally, what you will get it in constraint manager is template created which can be reused within the same constraint manager, right? And also, in case if you want to reuse this constraint from one board to another, you have this export and import constraint feature available, which can be easily used by one design to another design, right? So that's basically on the integrated constraint management. Now, next is I would also like to talk and highlight about our another cloud solution, I can say. Now, many a times we see that there is a simulation engineer who is sitting from a different place from the design team, right? So now a person who would like to really work on the simulation without having an access to the tool, right? Access to the expedition tool. So for them, we have a solution known as PartQuest Explorer, right? So earlier for the component information or the component library, we had PartQuest solution, and this is for the simulation purpose. So where we have PartQuest Explorer as a solution, where you can simulate the design that you are looking for, And then if the results are meaningful for you, if you feel that this is my analysis result is perfectly fine, then you can also integrate this cloud solution from PartQuest Explorer to the Expedition Designer as well. So you don't have to redraw your schematic. So any circuit that you would like to quickly create and check for the simulation using SPICE model, right? Or AMS model. So you can quickly do that simulation here in this solution, right? And as mentioned, you can bring back the simulated circuit into your Expedition Designer solution as well, right? So this is on PartQuest Explorer. Now, another thing I would like to talk about is the pre-layout signal integrity. So we often hear that signal integrity is something which is part of the layout that we will take care. Ideally, it is not the truth, because again, any circuit that you are going to physically design in the layout must have a analysis performed on the schematic, because if you simulate your schematic, only then you are confirmed that my schematic is perfectly fine. You don't need any additional resistor or termination or any RLCG parameters to make sure there is no loss between the transmitted signal and the received signal, right? So finding out this kind of issue in the schematic stage helps you to manage your complexity in the layout. Because if you have just 10 components, I mean, for a circuit, and if it is not meeting the fruitful result when you have already designed your layout, in that case, what you do to get the desired result, once again, you come back to schematic, add the component, and then resimulate it. So instead of doing that at the later stage, we are recommending you to have a pre-layout signal integrity performed for the schematic that you are designing. So with that, what you will get is you will be able to perform the pre-level schematic, I mean the signal integrity at your schematic level. And this is a very basic feature which will be included, which will include like your stack up editing, the termination wizard, the transmission line support, and also the sweep manager. So all these things are included as a part of pre-layout integrity. And it is a restricted version which will not have any PI technology, which will not, I mean, when I say PI, it is power integrity, and any advanced solver or SerDes wizard. But still it will provide a powerful analysis capabilities on the signal integrity front, right? And again, this is integrated with your schematic, right? So you can select any particular net, you can export to hyperlinks and then simulate it. You can look into the oscilloscope, like what is the result or simulation result you are getting. After that, if you feel that the desired result is not meeting your requirement, then of course you can have or add another termination resistors, right? And then you can check the termination or in the series resistor in the beginning to make sure that everything is in line or not. So here you can have also stack up editing facility, as you can see here. Okay, and all these things what I'm discussing is a part of your expedition standard. Yeah, there is something called as a token based access, which I will let you know once we deeply discuss on this particular topic, okay, based on the interest that is received. Okay, so you can see all these things are being performed at the schematic level, right? So you can have you can tweak the different value of transmission line, and then you can run the sweep analysis to just check how your analysis is going to get performed. Now imagine with this change, you can immediately update your schematic without even being affected on the layout front. Okay. Now, so once your schematic is completed with all your part quest and supply chain and all your key capabilities of schematic with integrated constraint. Then you are simulating your schematic very well. Then additionally, as a next step, what you do, you start working on the placement. You come to the PCB side. Now, once you start with the placement, it becomes again one of the key step in your PCB development process or PCB design process is that once you have a good placement, your routing task becomes much easier. I'm sure you all will agree to that, right? So to have a better placement, what you need to have? You need to have a proper planning of this component placement. So what Expedition Standard as a layout tool it offers you for component planning is that you can have this grouping in terms of cluster formed in the schematic stage itself. So here itself, you will be able to reduce a week of time almost to making it to just 5-minute work, right? So you have a DDR circuit, which you can see here, which is getting placed in the terms of group itself. I'm not manually selecting any schematic or any component and extracting it, right? So instead, you can see almost 10 to 15 components are getting grouped and coming together just when I'm placing on the board. Now imagine the amount of time you might be doing it for individual component, right? So here the component placement planning will help you to do this grouping, and also it will tell you the complexity between one circuit to another circuit, right? When you are placing this particular as a group. So that gives you another confidence that you are placing the right circuit at the right place, right? So if you have a complex circuit, two different circuit, which complexity is less, and then if you're placing it close by, it doesn't make sense. So in that case, you have a complex circuit which is identified by the placement planning, and then it is telling you that this is a complex circuit, it has to be placed here, right? So your component grouping and placement time is completely reduced by not placing individual component from schematic. Of course, as an added on feature, yes, we do also have a feature where you can select the component in the schematic, drag it in the layout, and then place it. That feature is of course available as a very basic feature. But what we generally promote and we recommend customers to use this component planning and placement grouping, wherein their customers gets a lot of advantage saving their time, right? So once this placement is done, what will be the next step for you? So next step is coming as a routing. Now we have various routing technology embedded with the Expedition Standard layout tool. Now in that, we offer you is as a sketch routing technology, right? We offer you as a sketch routing technology. Now this is a DDR. So before I just show you this, generally how much time you may take in order to route these bunches, right? So one byte of data easily takes almost around half an hour to 30-45 minutes. And we are not still sure that we have done it right or not. So in that case, the sketch routing technology will allow you to just draw the part to the tool. So as a user, you are drawing this path and tool is doing the routing for you. And when it does the routing, it ensures that all the rules are being followed up, right? And once the routing is done, you also have a auto tuning facility available where you can just select the target and the tool will do the routing for auto tuning for you. Okay. And when you do this auto tuning, if there is something remaining, you can manually tweak that. And of course, when there is a interchange of layer, so sketch routing allows to do that as well, right? Additionally, you also have auto routing capability available with the layout tool, where you can just select the component and route the relevant connection which is flowing across, right? And it's very quick. So you can use it and just do a minor cleanup in order to get your desired routing part, right? So this is another thing that you have it as a routing technology, right? Then next is physical reuse. So I'm sure when you're working on a design, there are certain circuits which is going to replicate one after the other, right? So you will have once a common circuit which you're going to copy paste. So of course, as in the layout tool, you do have a copy paste feature available. Once again, as a very basic feature, I would say. So what additionally we do have as a physical reuse. For example, if there is a circuit like this, right? So what you can do is you can have a circuit physical reuse created for this. Now, what physical reuse will give you as an advantage and compared to copy reuse? So when you do the copy paste, it just replicate and place as it is, right? But if you make any changes into the this circuit, the copy paste will not replicate that. Either you have to remove that circuit or redo it, redo the copy paste. So to avoid that step, here you can create this as a reuse, I mean the physical reuse, place the multiple instances of this circuit, right? And the great advantage you will get when there is any small modification or big modification which is required in the circuit. Now, if there is any wire needs to be placed or it has to be moved from here to here, right? Or any component has to be moved from top to bottom. Now, what you will do? Now, in order to get this identical, the physical reuse will help you. Now, just with a single click, it will tell you that it is updated. So you can see there is no manual intervention at all required for any other circuit. Any change that you do, it is automatically updating all other circuit that is being referenced by the main physical reuse circuit, right? So this is the advantage that you will get, and there is no limitation that it will work only for placement change or trace change or wire change. You can make any of these changes with respect to the circuit that you have created, right? So that is on the physical reuse. So this is going to definitely save your time, right? And also not having, you will get an accuracy from one circuit to another circuit by not manually having an intervention here. Then another technology that I would like to talk about is a rigid flex. So we all know that when the combo or the product start becoming complex, there are certain cases where the rigid and flex combination of PCB comes into picture, right? So we do have a solution with expedition standard for you if you're working on a rigid flex board as well. So wherein you will be able to have, when you are working on a rigid flex technology, generally the primary requirement will be having a multiple board outline for it. And when you have a multiple board outline, definitely you need a multiple stack up. So Expedition Standard will allow you to have this particular feature where you can manage the multiple boards and multiple stack up, right? Also, you can have this view in your board as a 3D view, how your board is going to look like. You can have a bend area management. You can define the angle of it, right? And then based on that, you can actually view how your bend area or the product, actual product is going to look like. So this gives you a clarity actually like how your product is going to be visualized once it is made, right? Then additionally, what you will also get is as um, a routing technology in the rigid flex, right? So when there is a angle change or a bend area involved, so of course it's become difficult for you to route. So in that case, the rigid flex routing technology with just a single click, it will automate that particular routing path easy for you. And in the 3D board, when you see it, it becomes very much feasible for you to analyze your complete product, right? So that will give you the real visualization of your 3D product as well, right? So with that, you will get another confidence that everything is fine, or if there is any change that you will have to make. Not only that, you will also have 3D DRC checks available in the tool, wherein you can check for any violations that is going to going to affect your complete product. So that can be analyzed, and with a minimum iteration, you can correct that. Okay. Then another thing I would like to talk about as a collaboration, we were talking about multiple team working in silos, right? So how Siemens Expedition Standard or Expedition solutions are different. So here we do have a very tight collaboration between the ECAD and the mechanical team. We all know that these are two distributed team. So what we offer as a solution is as you can export or the files from the design tool as an IDX file. And this file can be or also imported from the mechanical tool as well. Now, the advantage that you will get here, any change that you are trying to update in your board, you can actually highlight it before you apply on it, right? With just a single click, you can see the input that is being shared by your mechanical team is getting updated here. Okay. And once it is updated, your task is done. Now, what you can do is you can again send any additional files that you would like to give it to your mechanical team, right? You can have a selected component or the entire board. That's totally your choice. Okay, you can enable or disable that. And the good part is when the mechanical team again suggests back any changes, you can preview the changes what was given earlier and what is given now. So you can compare those two and they will be giving you an incremental change from what they shared earlier, right? So these kind of intelligence and the collaboration, you will be getting it through ECAD and MCAD collaboration, where your layout tool is integrated with your mechanical tool and directly communicates with that. Now, we discussed about pre-layout. So of course, we should not forget about the post layout. So once your board is done, once you have completed your design, you can export it for signal integrity analysis from the physical layout perspective, right? So again, as mentioned previously, so this is going to be a limited subset of hyperlinks features. So if you want to have a detailed or complete feature of hyperlinks, then in that case, you will have to maybe purchase a separate module of hyperlinks, SIPI or thermal, right? But this particular feature, what we are talking about now at present is a feature which is included with a part as a part of expedition standard. So one of the feature that will be included from here is as hyperlinks board sim will be the virtual oscilloscope that will help you to analyze your signal integrity issues such as you may get is as ringing, overshoot, undershoot, and any timing violation in high-speed designs. Or and also you will get to see additionally like a badge wizard, which will allow you to check large group of nets for signal quality, any crosstalk simulation and EMC simulation and quick analysis options as well. So this is what your post layout signal integrity is going to give you as a part of Expedition standard layout. Now, once your design is done, so of course the design also needs to get reviewed. Now, for a reviewer, we have often seen that installing a tool becomes a challenge, right? Or sometime he will be out of office, he or she will be out of office. In that case, design review becomes a critical role and mostly it will be dependent on the senior management, right? So in order to expedite that and make that process seamless, what we have offered with Expedition Standard as a design review solution, where you can review your design directly in the collaborator. That means in a browser itself, right? And you can define a name of the person who is going to review it, who is going to edit this particular the information. So that complete control can be provided by an administrator, right? Now, what you want to review, whether a design or if you want to review a BOM, you can do that. Okay. When you do this, of course, the version control will also be seen and managed here. So if you have released first version of the board and second version of board, you can see that. In the first version, you have only schematic. In the second version, you may have layout with 2D and 3D. You can see that, right? Who has submitted this? You can see that information also, right? Now, once the board is being reviewed, you also have an option to add any comment here or any shape for a user. So that you can do as a markup feature available in the solution, right? Where you can add a text and give this to the relevant person to modify this particular update, right? And all these things you can see as a very neat and very clear 3D view of the code that you have shared for review. Additionally, you will also get to review your BOM. Not only reviewing the BOM, but what you will also get, you will have integration of this BOM with the find chips as well. where you can have the complete, again, the supply chain information which we were discussing about. So you can do the overall BOM health analysis in the tool. Okay. When you do the BOM intelligent analysis, what you will get, whether the overall pricing of the complete BOM that you are going to get here, right? It will tell you the overall part matching status. It will tell you the life cycle, how many components having the good life cycle, how many are with unknown status or obsolete status, right? It will tell you that information, whether the components are available with the stock or not, right? And based on the supplier risk rank, we also have a risk grading for those for every component, right? So these kind of information will also help you to analyze the overall costing of your product also, because the quantity and the part numbers helps you to identify this overall product cost as well. So that is what is kind of a design review from the design perspective and also from the BOM perspective. Now, additionally, what you will get after design review, what you do is basically a DFM. So this we should never forget when we are designing any board. Your board is not only to stay in your software. It has to get built as a product. In that case, you should make sure your board is capable enough or to be manufactured. So in order to do that, you can perform a DFM analysis, 12 analysis, I can say, per year with this particular Expedition Standard subscription. So when you buy Expedition Standard, you can perform design for fabrication and assembly checks directly by uploading ODB++ here, and you will get an Excel or a PDF report directly from this PCB flow solution. So this is again one of the cloud-based solution that we were talking about, right? So here you can quickly see what are the issues that you have got, which layer this issue is, right? You can flag this issue, you can add it to the report. So all these DFA becomes much more crucial when you are designing it. Okay, you will be doing this activity by receiving the input from your supplier. So instead, we are asking you to do when you are designing the board or when you have designed the board, at least do them. So you can access the detailed report in terms of XLS file, as I was mentioning. Okay. And you have option where you want to only extract the flagged violation, or only if you want to extract the complete report. So that's totally your choice. So of course, PCB flow, once again, it is going to be a limited version of your DFM check. In order to get the complete capability of the DFM DFA analysis, obviously Valor NPI is again an upgrade solution. I would say for DFM PCB flow, which is going to be on premises, not as a cloud solution. So here in the PCB flow, you will not be able to manage any rules because rules are already predefined, right? But based on your supplier capability, in case if you want to make your rule, of course, Valor NPI is something that you will have to look into, right? And where you will not have any limitation on the number of jobs that you are performing. But yes, in the PCB flow, you have a 12 runs per year that will be as a part of your Expedition Standard when you buy, okay, which will be free of cost. Okay, so performing this will definitely avoid cost and reduce your it will improve your PCB quality of course, right? Then another thing is this becomes again one of the critical thing, manufacturing your documentation, right? So we have integrated a blueprint solution with our Expedition layout solution. Now with that, any assembly or any fabrication detail, everything can be directly documented within the footprint expert itself. Okay, within the, I can say the blueprint. I'm sorry for the footprint expert, but yeah, for it is integrated with blueprint. So yes, any documentation change that you are doing it, you can easily get it in the documentation. Blueprint documentation update, right? You can have your own template. Any changes that you are making after the drawing is created or the template is created. So when I say any change, any component removing or any component movement, if you're doing it, you don't have to manually do that in documentation again, because you have an option to directly update it. Okay, so this gives you a very good flexibility of directly updating all your document with whatever changes you have done in the design. So you are just doing the changes in the design and directly it is getting updated in your documentation. So that gives you another flexibility and seamless usage, I can say, right? Now let's quickly talk about the AI capabilities. So which will be, of course, more informed and you will take a right decision what to choose and when to choose, right? So in AI, we have three different key capabilities. One is the global search and command prediction. Second is the product support copilot, which is integrated with the tool now. And then AI assistant smart data sheet results. So what you will get it, let's say in the global search and AI command. Now in the global search, so as a beginner or intermediate user or expert level, if I don't know any of these options where exactly the tool is giving me, in that case, you will get an option to just directly search for it. For example, if I want to change any, if I want to search for any particular option, I can just do the search. I want to change the unit. I don't know where is this. So I can quickly find unit. I can get it, right? And additionally, what you will also get is with respect to the command prediction, right? So you will get a feasibility of using as an it basically learns from your behavior. So tool try to understands the user behavior and then it try to suggest the next step what is going to be used, right? Basically for when you take a discrete component or a BGA component, what action you perform generally. You rotate it, you do the fan out, you push it to the bottom, right? There are multiple action that you might to have performed. So based on every individual, it remembers that what you do, and then it will suggest you what is the next command that you are looking for. So that will be in the predictive command itself. And you don't have to go anywhere. Just everything will be there in the predictive command, right? And this is very dynamic based on the type of component, based on the different nets that you are selecting, it will suggest based on it, right? Additionally, I was talking about the global search. So anything that you are not finding, you don't know, you can directly search in the tool. It will give you, it will take you there. In fact, if you want to change any footprint pad stack, you can just type as pad stack. It will take you there, what you want to do, right? So the tool is very user friendly in order to have in having this global search and AI command prediction available by itself, right? Then another thing is product support with the Copilot. If any of the feature that you are not knowing, right? So generally you have to go through multiple documentation, support center site and everything, right? So that actually delays your work, continuity of your work that you're working. So in order to avoid that, what Siemens did is they introduced the Copilot within the tool itself, where you can actually directly search with what you need, right? And tool will give you the suggestion and also it will guide you what are the steps in order to achieve that, right? So you don't have to be dependent on any second person or the third person or even the document, a big document that you have to go through. Instead, with this Copilot, you can simply search for what you need and you will get the answer how it has to be performed. So a simple example is how do I configure stack up layer. So it will take you what are the where you have to go, how do you access it, and then how do you edit it, how do you add it, how do you define the layer properties, what are the special consideration if you're working on flex design. So you can easily follow those steps and complete your activity. So no dependency on any other thing, right? And in case if you want to have a script for it, so you can also ask tool to just generate a script and give it. For example, counting a number of wires, right? So you can just ask tool to you have that script. It will give you the script for that. So this becomes easy for you to automate anything with this particular Copilot feature integrated in here, right? Then additionally, what you also have is a AI data sheet, smart sheet, a smart data sheet, I can say. So wherein, when you are logging your PartQuest portal, of course, you have a data sheet which we discussed, right? So you can open that data sheet. Now, as a hardware engineer, it's difficult for me to go through all the 60 pages of data sheet to find out any information, right? So here, smart data sheet will allow you to find the queries in the natural language. So you have a smart data sheet where you can just use the prompts also what is available. Okay, like what is the temperature, what is the voltage that this particular IC works on, what is the ESD or rating. So you don't have to manually go and find each and every part. You can just type what you need and it will find from the data sheet and it will take you to that page that I am referring to this page for this information. Right now, it becomes very seamless and easy for a hardware engineer to find out any key information that the person is looking for. Right. Then additionally, yeah, so this is what we discussed till now. So just to summarize, we discussed on the AI infused data sheet and command prediction, right? Then schematic capture, we discussed about all the hierarchical, then component sourcing with 600 million plus part with the supply chain. You can have hierarchical block creation or flat schematic creation. Then of course, with the board layout, you can have 3D, 2D view, you can have the floor planning, right? You can have the automated routing or a sketch routing. Then also length matching and length tuning automated facilities available. Now on the DFM front, yes, you have 12 runs per year using the PCB flow that you can use it. And for the documentation, of course, you have a blueprint which is integrated with the expression layout. Then on the data management front, yes, we also discussed about the constraint management, design reuse. In case if you have any existing design today, that can also get migrated to Expedition Standard. So you don't have to worry on that as well, right? Because that migration, we have a migration wizard which will allow you to migrate your existing designs to Expedition Flow, right? Then of course, like bomb intelligence, which we discussed, then you have an ecosystem where you can share the files to a person for review and give the feedback. That can be in terms of ECAD, AMCAD, or any design markup. And if you have two versions, you can also compare that graphically, like schematic and PCB. So that is also quite possible here, right? When you have Expedition Standard, you will also get some tokens with it, and that token can be utilized for your SI analysis or rigid flex design, because these are something which you don't regularly or frequently use it, right? So as needed, you can just use those token and then release that. That's it. Then Copilot for automation scripting, right? For circuit simulation, part quest explorer, and then of course we will be discussing now about our support, right? So we have a wonderful support system, and you can see that from past 3-4 years, we have been number one in the support, right? So what you will be getting as a part of Expedition Standard is, of course, a self-paced training module. So which will give you access to the complete learning tutorial of Expedition Standard, basically. And additionally, you will also get a community forum, basically, which will allow you to raise any new ideas, what enhancement that you're looking for, because it is an open forum where customer comes and then they raise their ideas. And based on their ideas, we try to implement those features in our upcoming releases, right? So if the number of votes are more onto that particular ideas, we try to implement as soon as possible based on customer priority, right? And once you complete this self-based training, of course, you will get a badge telling that you have completed your training and what are the modules that you have completed, right? So based on the assessment, it will give you the certificate as well. Now, on the pricing and the purchasing option, I would just like to give you a quick highlight that if you are looking for, or if you're interested in the presented technology, you can of course go with Expedition Standard with a very minimal pricing per year, which is right in front of you, which will give you access to Expedition Standard as a schematic library layout. Of course, it will give you also PartQuest Explore with simulation solution as well, right? You will get also access to all the parts from the PartQuest portal. And then you will also get a review process, seamless review process that you can use it for sharing and markup capability. Additionally, you will get 12 DFM runs in PCB flow. That is again a part of the same package that you're looking. Also, you will get 500 GB storage for the cloud application and any design, right, that you are going to upload it for review. So you can get 500 GB storage. That's good enough, right? And then you will also get on-demand training, which will be included as a part of the same pricing what you see. So there is no additional charges, there is no additional cost for any of this what is listed here. Everything is inclusive. Now let's talk about token. So if you're working on any rigid flex design, or if you're working on pre-layout or post-layout or advanced ACAD MCAD collaboration, then this token comes into picture. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. Okay. And then if you want to start the trial today itself, you have 1 month free for it. Maybe you can scan this particular QR code in order to get your 1 month Expedition Standard trial today activated. Okay. So this is on the pricing and the purchasing options. So now with this, I would like to conclude from my side. Thank you so much for your patience. And we are here to answer questions if you have any. And additionally, before people you drop from the meeting, a simple humble request is you will be getting poll questions right in front of your machine. So people who have questions, you can definitely ask in the chat. And also in case if I'll try to answer those. And also once the poll questions coming in front of you, there may be 5 or 6 questions. Please try to just answer those. It will help us to understand your requirement and accordingly come and discuss those things in detail with you, right? So I would request Malvika to please push those questions in the poll, and let's wait to hear from the people who are on Teams. So thank you so much, guys. And if you have any questions, please do let me know. Yeah, I think we have a raised hand from Gurmeet. I'll just stop sharing my screen to just look into the questions in case if you have any. I don't see any questions in the chat. So Gurmeet, I think you can just drop your questions in the chat in case if you have any. I think we have question from Uday Bharat and also from Gurmeet. So please do drop a question in the chat box. So kindly respond to the poll questions because we see just 8 responses received, and it will be difficult for us to get in touch with you in case if you are really looking for this, right? Raised hand from Rohan. So Rohan, are you guys trying to put something in the chat and unable to chat, unable to ping? Q&A tab on the top. Okay. So please use this. Okay, yeah. So you have on the top chat Q&A people like that, right? So there is a Q&A on the top of your screen. So please use that for any questions. So I see one question from Uday Bharat, like I have had PAD professional. Okay. 3 license. So if I do schematic in that tool, can I import it in Expedition Standard? Uh, uh, you can, yes, it is feasible. Okay, any other questions? I have answered that. If you have any other questions, please, we'll be here for another three minutes. At 12:15, we will drop. So please put your questions if you have any in the Q&A icon on the top of your screen in the Teams application that you're seeing.